Hi guys. So let's see if I get through this without being interrupted, as someone is probably at the tail end of a nap. But so my son's Kiwi crate came today, and it's so chaotic trying to open this with him. And I'm gonna just see if I can open it before he gets up and go through everything. Again, for those of you who basically want to see what's in the box, I'm going to do that first, and then I will read more of the contents afterwards. It is a very cute box, always. My son loves this little Kiwi. We do read the books that come in these, so it's little magazines that come. We do read those. We read one last night at bedtime. That was his request. And there's always the little Steve the Kiwi that says, "Hi, let's discover together." And this box is very cute, and it is Mad Science. That's fun. In this crate, Mad Science, there's my Weeble Wobblers, learn about balance with 2 wobbling scientists, and my Science Lab, experiment with your own test tubes and materials. Did you know Albert Einstein was a scientist who studied light, electricity, and much more? He was famous for his many discoveries, but also his extremely messy hair. Einstein never wore socks, even when he visited the president at the White House. Cute. How do scientists freshen their breath? Experiments. And then it's always got sort of the Steve the Kiwi and then like the lead character for this one, and it comes with a sticker that gets added into a little map of stickers that you get with your first box, and it says, "What does a scientist do? Experiment and make discoveries." And you can cut those out and then have little characters to play with. This is the Explorer book that comes with this one, and I will read through that, show it to you near the end. And here are the 2 different books for each activity. So the first is my Weeble Wobblers, learn about balance with 2 wobbling scientists. This is low messiness, low grown-up involvement, discovering moving, fine moving, and creating. That's what it will look like. So it comes with 2 little eggs, and you're going to squish. It comes with clay that you're going to squish into the bottom of the egg. Make sure the clay is flat. Place your bouncy ball in the other egg. Oh, okay, so one's going to have a bouncy ball and one's going to have clay. So one is going to stand up straight and the other one's going to wobble around. Color your scientist stickers. Use the white markers to change the colors of the other markers. Use the white marker to change the colors of the other markers. Interesting. Attach your stickers to the Mad Scientists. Remove the backing from the foam on your Mad Scientist hair. Stick the hair onto your scientist's head. Experiment with your wobbling scientist. How does the scientist with the clay move different than the scientist with the ball? Try racing your scientists. Roll them across the floor and see which scientist wins. My son will really have fun with that. So it's got an orange egg and a green egg. It's got clay. It's got markers. We have acquired a lot of markers from Kiwi crate. Here's some Mad Scientist hair. One is round, one is straight across. Here's a little rubber ball. And then here are a bunch of stickers. Bunch of stickers with glasses and ties and bows and arms and hearts and stars and a little pocket protector. So that would be fun to do. And I don't know what it means to use the white pen to change the colors. Washable color changing markers. So I'm assuming this white pen changes one from green to purple and the other from yellow to orange, maybe? I don't know. I don't know, but we'll try it out. And this has also things to think about on the back. Did you notice that the scientist with the clay always pops up after it falls over? This is because the clay acts as a weight. When the egg tips, the clay stays at the bottom and pulls the egg back upright. The ball in your other scientist also acts as a weight, but the ball moves. When your egg falls over, the ball rolls around. This makes your scientist wiggle. That will be a fun activity my son can easily do. And this is my science lab. Experiment with your own test tubes and materials. This is high messiness, so we probably won't do this one today. Medium grown-up involvement, discovering, fine moving, and creating. Although I say that, and I don't know why tomorrow would be any better to wreck our house, but let's experiment. Place a test tube in the base and remove the cap. Fill the test tube up to the 40 milliliter mark with water. Fill the test tube up to the 50 milliliter with oil. Drip yellow and blue into the test tube. Be careful, the food coloring may stain. Watch how the color pops into the water and spreads. Screw the cap on the test tube tightly. Tilt it back and forth slowly and see what happens. Now shake your test tube to see what happens. Continue experimenting with your test tubes. Try adding different amounts of oil, water, and color. What do you discover? Cute. He won't really get it, but he'll like it. Try adding other liquids like honey, syrup, and baby oil to your test tube. Which is the heaviest? Which is the lightest? Try dropping different small objects into your test tube to see where they flow. One thing I like about this, my son will have fun with this, but he won't really get it. But an older kid of 5 or 6 would really get it. And so it works for all of these different ages. It's something my son can actually do. But it's something that an older kid would really probably learn quite a lot from. Experiment with different colored liquids and colors with a pair of Mad Scientist test tubes. So it comes with the little base you can put them on, so it actually wouldn't be that messy. It's got 2 little test tubes that fit in the base perfectly. It's got vegetable oil. I like that they don't expect you to have your own vegetable oil. It's got food coloring. We don't have any food coloring at home. Yeah, looks like the yellow may be trying to come apart, so I'll have to be careful with that. It comes with a cap, and then it comes with cornstarch. And then there's another test tube and cap in here, which I don't need to pull out because it looks exactly the same. Did it say to use the cornstarch? I don't remember the cornstarch at all. No, I don't remember it saying anything about cornstarch. So maybe that's just one of the extra things we're supposed to add in. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it says on the back. Things to think about. Did you notice how the oil doesn't mix with the water? Lots of liquids mix with water, but oil does not. This is why the food coloring looks like bubbles in the oil. The food coloring has water in it. It won't mix with oil, but will mix with water. Oil sits on top of water because it is lighter. The food coloring sinks in the oil because it is heavier. When the food coloring reaches the water, the bubbles pop and begin to mix, creating beautiful swirls. Let's see, does it say anything? Huh. It doesn't even mention the cornstarch. Maybe the cornstarch is part of a different activity, because often there's another activity in here. Let's flip right to the back and see if that's the case. Yes, okay. Try for yourself. Cornstarch experiment. Try out the scientific method with your own cornstarch and water science experiment. Cornstarch, water, spoon, and bowl. What happens when you mix cornstarch and water? Hypothesis. What do you think the cornstarch and water mixture will be like? Will it act like water or maybe honey? Does it do something totally different? Write or draw your thoughts here. Pour cornstarch into a bowl. Gradually mix water until you have created a very thick mixture. Investigate and observe. What happens when you drop something in water? Now what happens when you drop it in your mixture? What happens when you try to push your finger into the mixture slowly? How about fast? Can you grab a handful of your mixture and squeeze? What happens? Draw or write some of the fun things you observe. So basically that's what's in my box, and now I'm going to just read you the story that comes with it and what's in this book. I am very curious about lots of things. My friend Isaac says that would make me a good scientist. Scientists ask lots of questions about the world. When they find answers, those are called discoveries. Isaac taught me all about scientists and the discoveries they make each day. Come on, let's discover science together. Your friend, Steve the Kiwi. Steve the Kiwi makes a discovery. Boom! Psst. Oh, hi, Isaac. I hope I didn't startle you. What's wrong, Steve? I want to be a scientist to make discoveries, but I keep making mistakes. Don't worry, being a scientist starts with trying different things and often making mistakes. Even famous scientists make mistakes. If scientists are curious and patient, mistakes can turn into great discoveries. Really, like what? Have you ever played with silly putty? A scientist was trying to invent a new rubber and accidentally made a great toy. People say that Sir Isaac Newton became curious about gravity after an apple accidentally hit him on the head. That led him to a lot of discoveries. Scientists also have to be very patient. Gregor Mendel studied pea plants for years before he discovered how they grow. Many ideas didn't work, but he kept trying. Thanks, Isaac, you're right. I've just got to keep going. Yep, now let's see if we can discover something. The end. It's funny, one of the comments I got was I need to sound less like a teacher. And I think as a counselor and as somebody who did like corporate trainings for a long time, I think part of it is that's just the way I talk. But also, now that I have a 3-year-old, anytime, especially in reading something like this, I really go into elementary teacher mode because that's how I often talk to him when I'm reading to him. So I apologize if that's annoying to you, but that's just kind of how I talk. Matching, microscope matching. Match each object on the left with its zoomed-in image on the right, then color it in. Microscopes are tools that let you see very small objects. My son really likes microscopes. Things that are too small for you to see with just your eyes. Scientists use microscopes to study things like bacteria and plant cells. Complete the scene. Draw a science lab. Here are some ideas to get you started. Test tubes are used to mix liquids. Goggles protect your eyes. Droppers are used to drip liquids. Beakers measure and heat liquids. You can grow bacteria in a petri dish. Discover the scientific method. Scientists use the scientific method to make discoveries. Question. All great experiments start with a question. Hypothesis. The first step after thinking of a question is to make a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a guess about what the answer to the question might be. Experiment. Next, you create your experiment to test your hypothesis. Sometimes your hypothesis was wrong, so the experiment doesn't work. That's okay, just try again. Conclusion. The conclusion is where you tell everyone what you discovered from your experiment. Then the next part, I think that's the cornstarch activity, which we already read. Snack time, ice cream. Ingredients: 1 tablespoon of sugar, half a cup of rock salt, large bag of ice, half a cup of milk, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Materials needed: 2 sandwich bags, winter gloves, 2 gallon bags, empty coffee can optional. It just tells you how to make rock salt ice cream. I just found an ice cream maker that my mom gave me ages ago and we never use. So I've been trying to make ice cream lately because I've decided if I don't use it, I need to throw it out. Or actually, I wouldn't throw it out. I would donate it. but I've actually been making some ice cream. It's been fun. So it's not the right season for it, but I think this summer we'll get a lot of use out of it. Scientists use beakers, flasks, and test tubes to mix and heat liquids for experiments. They come in lots of different shapes and sizes and are made from special glasses that can be heated without breaking. Oh, you have to find the differences between the two pictures. My son actually likes those a lot. And then here are letters and pictures to Steve the Kiwi. And then parent resources. This is always nice. And I can go online and see if my library has any of these books and ask them to hold them for me. Is your mad scientist eager for more discoveries? Here are some experiment starters to keep the science fun going. Ask kids, what will happen if you put a stalk of celery in a jar of water and food coloring? Put an egg in vinegar for 4 days. Comb your hair, then move the comb over salt and pepper. Microwave a bar of ivory soap with grown-up help. Put Mentos in a bottle of soda. Put old dark pennies in 1/4 cup of vinegar and 1 teaspoon of salt. Meet Einstein is one book they're recommending for ages 2 and up. I should see if they have that. Simple Introduction to Science and Scientists for the Very Young. What is the World Made of? All about solids, liquids, and gases. That's ages 4 and up. Learn about the building blocks of nature with this funny guide. I'm a Scientist's Kitchen, ages 4 and up. Make scientific discoveries with materials you can find in your pantry or fridge. And that is my Kiwi crate. Not as much to read in this Kiwi crate as usual. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this away, and sometime, probably today or tomorrow, when my son is driving me nuts. Actually, I'm going to try to save it for tomorrow because it's supposed to be rainy and gross tomorrow, I think. So we'll probably be trapped in the house, where when he wakes up from a nap today, I think we're going to try and go for a walk because it's sunny. It's chilly but sunny out, so I think we'll go for a walk. And I think I'll pull out the Kiwi crate tomorrow. And I hope that was nice and relaxing for you. And I really like doing the Kiwi crate unboxings. They are a big hit around my house. They get quite a lot of use. And it's kind of nice, a nice, not too expensive way to let my son try out different things that maybe I wouldn't have the energy to do. And some of these boxes have been a big hit, others not so much. And it just kind of shows where his interests lie. And either way, it's a fun activity to do, and he and I both have fun while we're in the midst of doing it. And some of those crafts stay in the house and get played with for a long time, and others, no, they get kind of put to the side, and that's okay. But we got to try something new, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, or if it's nighttime, sleep